Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the briefing for Operation History Maker. As you might notice already, room is a little bit more crowded than it usually is on these days. We're fortunate to have Mr. Van Pelt and his team from Dunkirkers and Cobby and his mates from Little Board Consulting. This is going to be our largest operation to date, a lot of moving parts, but I think we're up to it. Now, there is some bad news. As you know, our theater is blowing up in a pretty big way. Our employers, Mitsuhashi, are falling apart at the seams from a father-daughter corporate bidding war. But more worryingly, it looks like they weren't straight with us when they hired us. There were some false pretenses going on. This fishing rights thing was part of the story, but it was also a pretext. What we have right now is an empty quiver situation. There are uncontrolled nuclear weapons in theater. Now, we already know that Greenpeace, or I beg your pardon, Angerpeace, blew up one of those nukes over Diomede Island and started the EMP situation. But we also got a couple more loose. There's at least one more hidden somewhere on St. Lawrence Island, and BNSC and Iceberg are currently fighting tooth and nail to get their hands on it. You got to assume that they have a lot of engineering equipment, a lot of excavation equipment, and that means they're probably looking for it too. Now make no mistake, people. If Iceberg or BNSC get a hold of it, or worse, if the Chinese find out what's going on, we've got a 300-kiloton nuclear bomb and the inciting incident for World War III. Now look, war might be good for business, but global thermonuclear war ain't. We got to do absolutely everything we can to make sure this thing stays out of the wrong hands. Otherwise, we're in a world of hurt. Now, to get our hands on that nuke, we have to get some boots on the ground of our own. Fortunately, we got Cobby and his team who are ready to go, getting on some Mi-8 hips and fly to that island. Unfortunately, the weather report doesn't look good. We have a short window of 5 or maybe 6 hours coming up before the storm in the area grounds flight operations completely and Cobby can't get there. And if that happens, we're out of the game for a good long time. So we've got to get Cobby in the air very, very soon. However, there's some pretty substantial air defenses on the island. So it's going to be our mission to go through, kick in the door for Cobby, make sure his guys can land, and make sure they're able to advance and take their objectives as quickly as possible. Otherwise, again, we're in a world of hurt. Now, we've also got to make sure that BNSC and Iceberg don't get their hands on that nuclear weapon. We got to make sure they don't get anything off the island. If there's ships leaving, they might have the nuke on board. And we've got to stop them from getting heavier reinforcements into the area. So there's a lot of moving parts on this mission. Now, the ROE and MCON for this mission are pretty simple. Right now, we've confirmed there are SSM batteries in the northern end of the island with a range of 70 nautical miles and surface search radars with a range of 40 nautical miles. That means Dunkirkers got to stay at least 40 nautical miles away from the island. And ideally, we want them staying 70 nautical miles away. Now, additionally, the Mamba and its supporting systems are active on the island. So aircraft need to stay 60 nautical miles away from the island until we can take that out. There's one exception. The Grapens. They can enter the danger area for short periods to get firing solutions on aircraft south of the island, as well as on any drones. Now, as for emissions, the Erie, Atlantique, and NH-90 are authorized to have their radars active, as well as the Carol Dormans, if they're under attack so they can use their Sparrow missiles. Everyone else, stay radar passive, keep your emissions low. Our CAP element today is operating under the call sign of Katsuki flight, flying out of Lavertia. The primary elements are the Gripens in 2 flights of 2, armed with Max Meteors, call signs Arrows 1 and Arrows 2. Our Phantoms, also in 2 flights of 2 at the AMRAAMs, call site Port Bowl 1 and Port Bowl 2. We've also going to have them operating between Pravda Field and Gambell. You can see the map for the exact location. I want 1 flight from each group on station at all times. You're going to RTV with shotgun. In this case, that means you are out of BVR missiles. No more Meteors, no more AMRAAMs. If there are too many aircraft in the air for them to handle, we've also got 2 more options. Call sign Champagne, the 2 Kafirs with derbies. If the CAP take casualties at any times, we're activating 2 Vipers, armed with AMRAAMs, call sign Pole Dance to assist. At all times, we must have a CAP in the air with BVR missiles prepared to engage any air targets. We are not making this operation without CAP. Again, I want to emphasize this again. If an aircraft is shotgun and out of BVR missiles, its job is to RTB, rearm, and get back in the fight. Do not linger if you're just down to your short-range missiles. Simultaneously launching with our cap is going to be our support elements. This is the Erie, call sign Kubo, and both tankers, call sign Crunchy and Roll, out of prod to base. They're going to be orbiting at their designated locations. They should be ready to roll northwest if anyone comes to threaten them from the Gambel direction. Our Sead group is Nikiforov, and they're responsible for taking out the search radars, the Mamba, and any show rad that could threaten our air mobile group. It'll consist of 2 tornadoes, armed with brimstones and the Damocles Designator Pod, call sign Lilac, the Prowler with call sign Harm, and call sign Balding, our new Su-17 with the AS-9 Kyle arm. Its call sign is Yakov. We'll also have the 2 drones, call sign Stay Close and Giacometti, as well as 3 more tornadoes on the Storm Shadows, call sign Gold Ring. Now, I know we should be doing Sead with arms, however we got some problems with the alarm missiles, and while we still iron out the kinks, we're going back to tried and true systems. Now, Lilac, Bowling, and Yakov will prosecute the search radars. Once they've done that, Bowling will stay close, and Giacometti will both be assisted to localize the Mamba if possible, whereupon Gold Ring will destroy them. Even if it's not an active threat, it's still serious. We don't want helos getting knocked down. Once we take out the Mamba, Balding and Lilac will go after them and try to take out the Shorag cartels. If we're out of brimstones, another tornado, call sign World Champ, is in reserve. Launch it and get it in the area before the helos can get in there. Our naval strike group is the Sea Beggars, Carol Dormans with call signs Fairy, Punk, and Tiger. With their attached NH-90s, Fairy Cat, Punk Cat, and Tiger Cat. Also operating with the Atlantique, call sign Agape. This is all in Group Urio. Their mission is to sweep the south side of the island for frigates and landing ships, and sink anything sneaking in or sneaking out. Agape will search for readings. The Cats will localize them, and then Fairy, Punk, and Tiger will knock them down with harpoons. Again, we have a 40 nautical mile exclusion zone minimum, with a preferred maximum of 70 nautical miles. We also have one last element on our list. Our AMXs with JDAMs, call sign Kazakh, as part of Group Odebek. They're supporting our remaining munitions from Lilac and Stay Close as they sanitize the landing zone. The primary LZ is Hasetsu, and our secondary LZ is Ice Castle if Hasetsu is not clear. Pick one, sanitize it, and get the helos down. If more assistance is needed, we have additional reserve forces, call sign Madness, a Brimstone and Damocles equipped tornado. Finally, we have the actual landing group, call sign Makachin. This is Kabi's Hits, operating under call sign Poodle. We also have a MiG-23 with Apexes, flown by me, and an Su-15 with an Anab, call signs Good Dog and Bad Dog respectively. Once an LZ's been cleared, Makachin will fly out and make landfall. Good Dog and Bad Dog will be prepared to provide close air support if anything tries to shoot down Poodle. Once we've touched down, everyone RTBs and gets home before the storm hits harder. Now, look. The situation here is pretty tough. Ted Nugent wants this nuke, and he wants to throw it at Mecca. BNSC wants to create a radioactive buffer zone around their country. Mitsuhashi wants to nuke Nome. Nobody's got good intentions. The Chinese government wants it to nuke Taiwan. The Japanese government wants to use it on who know who. The Russian government, well, they're Russians. The American government, well, who knows what they want to. It's all on us. Just like Tibet, just like Rwanda, we gotta save the world. So gentlemen, get to your aircraft, get things ready, takeoff is in 10 minutes.